Well, this is different as you can see. This is not your traditional web display video. This one's gonna be different. My guy who I web display all the time and who you guys should all follow, Real American, he put out a article he's been working on for a long time, and it's only part one of it, and he's been working really hard on it, so I figured I might as well read it and give a live reaction to you guys. Note to yourself, I'm not the best at reading, and I tend to mumble a lot when I read, so I guess brace for it. But to also make it interesting, maybe I'll fly to Zeppelins while I'm reading it, so you guys can at least see that while I'm reading it. So just a web display, maybe something new. But there's also a reason why I don't fly them too, because when I'm doing the web displays, the video is when I get too far from the screen, it just turns off and I lose the audio. But this doesn't matter because it's gonna be me reading it with the Zeppelins. So we got 3 Zeppelins we can fly. The Ice Zeppelin I just made, brand new. Take a look. It's beautiful. I love it. Probably the biggest one I made in a while too. The America First Inside Zeppelin, which actually I think his article will be on that soon. It's nice and small Zeppelin, easy to control. And the Trump Zeppelin that was done, but I'm redoing it, so it's not finished yet. I think we're gonna do the America First Inside Zeppelin, and we have all kinds of things for it. We got that. I forgot about that. We got this. Inside's pretty nice, and we can cruise on it too, so I don't have to drive it too. Anyway, let's get started. Come on. No. There we go. See? We're driving it. Now let's start going. And I'll start reading the article. Press C. That's how I cruise. Okay, we're going to start reading. Throughout the first 12 months of Trump's second term, and to say it's been more controversial than it has been his first term would be a massive understatement, especially within the MAGA base. For many Trump supporters, they would call Trump's second term at the best of any president in modern history. But at the same time, many have been extremely critical of this administration, with many saying it's been a disappointment, failure, whatever you want to call it. Now, let's be clear, the administration hasn't been perfect, and they're had some critical mistakes, and they will be mentioned when we get to that. But some of the current narratives surrounding the Trump administration are not only an arrangement, but is in some areas a complete fabrication and not based on anything remotely real. So as you can probably tell, I have been mostly in support of Trump's second term, and while I've been harsh with my words at times, I do think the administration does feel something bad. I believe this administration hasn't done a proper defense when written by really anyone. So we're going to give accurate assumption of the administration and go to over other criticisms I see and they hold up. Yeah, I agree. Like, they've been good and all, but sometimes they've just been bad. You have to criticize them. They understand. They respond fast too. Let's continue. So in the first parts of the series, we're going to start with major criticisms that the Trump has in his levies against him. I'm not good at some words, so I just try to pronounce them how I do, which is the best idea. He's breaking his promises and is not doing what he promised to do on the campaign trail. And we're not going to decide if these are good or not, just mercifully if he followed through with them. Now, before we can discuss his promises, we have to properly identify what we'll actually be looking at, because some people certainly have a very broad extension of what constitutes a campaign promise or not. For sakes of this article, we will be looking solely at the official campaign promises listed on the platform page of his campaign website, and in particular the full document linked on the page. Yeah, they do have a document page and stuff. If you guys don't know, the White House does. Wait, are we not moving? I've got to press cruise. There we go. What if I do it down here? See different angles too. Are we moving? Yeah, we are. We don't want to get too far. Let's do this angle. I love this shader. Oh, I thought it turned out. Who cares? Anyway, let's do right there. Let me read more. This will certainly upset some people because there are certainly not things exploited mentioned in the platform that some people insist are core campaign promises. Nearly the release of the Epstein files, which has undoubtedly become one of the biggest dividing points within the MAGA movement. Personally, this is me talking, I don't care about them. I don't really know any independents that really do. I just think it's a big nothing burger. The only people that care about them are conspiracy theorists and online people who are online too much, and people hate the government. I can tell you that much. Anyway, let's continue. But wait, where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah. But the issue with it is become increasingly hard to tell what even includes on the core campaign promises and what official positions, since you can take what Trump said about the Epstein files in the interview so many different ways. You cannot really urge for for sure what he for supported, and his appliance for other accurate promises Trump might have made during the interviews or speech. Meanwhile, let me see. Meanwhile, the platform on the website is clearly in the black and white what Trump is promising to do, and it seems to be the core Trump agenda. Meaning we have objectively baseline Joseph throw Trump on and not some wild intersection of what he said. But don't worry, we will tackle those other issues like make America healthy again, Epstein files, and other things later on in the series. But for now, we're just going to look at what's in black and white, and we can objectively say what his core his promises are. With that out of the way, it was the official Trump platform in the 2024. Anyway, let's go over the ones. Oh no, I had to pause it to move down. Let's see what his ones got. Complete of the border wall. Yep, got that one done. And what else we got? Actually, I want to try this. Let's move it this way. Complete of the border wall. Shift federal law enforcement to the immigration enforcement. Use advanced technology monitor and secure the border. Move thousands of overseas troops to the southern border. Deploy the U.S. Navy for full fentanyl blockade. Strengthen ICE and increase penalties for illegal overstaying visas. Reinstate Remain in Mexico policy. Invoke the Enemies Act to remove gang members, drug dealers, or cartel members. Bring back the travel ban. Use the Title 42 to return trafficked children back to home countries. Strict extreme vetting to exclude Christian, communist, Marxist, socialist, Jackalists, or seminarism. Never heard of those. Cut funding. Cut federal funding to sanctuary cities and require local corporation advice. Proselytize metro-based immigration and China migration. Reverse open border policies. Carry out the largest deportation in American history. Make Trump's tax cuts permanent. Eliminate tax on tips. Support baseline tariffs on foreign-made goods. Revoke China's most favored nation status. Phase out imports of essential goods from China. Stop China from buying American real estate and industries. Prevent importation of Chinese vehicles. Terminate the Socialist Green Deal. Bring critical supply chains back to the U.S. Unleash American energy production from all sources, oil, natural gas, and nuclear. Strengthen Buy American and policy. Strengthen Buy American and Hire American policies. End the Democrats' crypto crackdown, opposing central bank digital currency. Defend Bitcoin mining and self-custody and digital assets. Okay, that's a good one. Now we need to go down a little bit more. So we're there. So let me make sure I don't get confused right there. Okay. Repeal Biden's AI executive orders. Support AI development rooted in free speech and human flourishing. Cut costs and gruesome regulations. Reinstate Trump Air deregulation. Expand space industry. Manufacturing in near Earth orbit. Return to moon and own to Mars commercial counterparts. Open limited federal lands to the new home construction. Ooh, I like that. And where were we? Promote homeship via tax incentive and support for first-time buyers. That's a good one. Create directly more affordable alternatives to traditional 4-year college degrees. Increase healthcare transparency, choice, compilation. Expand access to new affordable options. Restore stability to ensure long use term standard of Social Security. Strengthen Medicare. Increase focus on chronic disease prevention, long-term care, benefit, flexibility, and primary care. Shift resources to at-home senior care. Overturn discharges causing care worker shortages. Support unpaid family care forgiveness, visa tax credits, and reduce red tape. Oh, that's interesting. That's some advanced stuff I don't know of. Let's keep reading. And teachers to and adopt metro pay. Allow various policy supported educational models. Universal school choice in every state. Expand to 29 accounts. Support homeschooling equality. Definitely. Improvise project-based learning, work experience, and career training programs. Overhaul school discipline standards and eliminate suspension of violent students. Sorry for not knowing some words. I just announced them my way then. Restore and enforce parental rights in education, including stopping race-based discrimination. Defund school engagement in political induration. What are you find these words? Reinstate the 1776 Commission and promote patriotic civication. Yes, make people proud to be American. Okay, let's keep going. I don't even know how long this is. I'm just gonna keep going until I just run out. Alrighty. Campaign the right to pray. That's a good one. Campaign the right to pray and read the Bible in school. Close the federal Department of Education. Return control to the states. Repromote police departments and restore common sense policing. Protect officers from lawsuits. Stand up to Marxist persecutions. Continue to address homelessness to restore street and order. I can't pronounce that word. Greater federal control over Washington, D.C. for law and order and maintenance. Yeah. And luxury housing, taxpayer benefits for legal immigrants. Redistrict savings to homeless veterans. Yes. Promote culture, valuing sanction of marriage, childhood and family role, support working parents. Where were we? Oh yeah. Fire radical left curators in higher education. Pursue civil rights cases against discriminated schools. Promote beauty in public, culture and genuine conservation. Organize national celebration of the 25th anniversary of the U.S. founding. Revoke visas of foreign nationals supporting terrorism and Jews. I don't know what that is. Hold accountable protesters of violence against Jewish people. Hold those Muslim government power for political prosecutions. Rein in wasteful federal spending. Declassify. Okay, that got me off guard. Okay, declassify records, root out war donors, and fire corrupt employees. Restore Trump's era, veterans, healthcare, choice reforms, protect whistleblowers and those who hold poor performance accountable. Yes. Ban federal constitution and censorship and defund censoring institutions. Create a federal task force on fighting anti-Christian bias. Maintaining Supreme Court at 9 justices. Block expansion. Support state level votes on the 14th Amendment protection. Oppose late-term abortion. Support parental care and birthright control of FBI. Oh, those things are storming. Ooh, that was kind of cool. I like that. That's kind of cool. Wait, I need to go down. I don't even know how high. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Ban taxpayer funding for sex change surgeries and school promotion of gender transition. Reverse Biden's Title IV Act. Rewrite and restore prosecutions for women and girls. No voting rights for illegal aliens. Welcome to greater political protection of the U.S. territories. Invest in cutting-edge research technologies and higher troop pay. Fire woke elements from the military. Assure allies meet defense operations. Stand with Israel and seek peace, stability in the Middle East and Indo-Pacific. Mobilize military assets against cartel trafficking, drugs, and people. Prioritize defense critical industries requiring made in USA for critical equipment. Protect. Oh shoot. Wait a second. Oh shoot. Stores. There we go. Protect critical infrastructure and trade base from metro cyber attacks. So there's a bunch of here with some more random others, but we shall go over each and other to give a fair estimate if Trump kept his promises, if he didn't, at the current status. So that was all his policies that he was gonna do, but has he done it yet? Alright, complete the border wall. The border wall has been the one policy proposal that has struck with Trump throughout the years, and it started off something seen as super controversial, but now it became a very popular issue since it's just common sense to have physical barrier on the southern border. And as of writing this article, between 25 to 30 miles of new border barriers have been built since Trump took office in January of 2025. CBP reports around 25 miles of new border wall have been constructed, with more than 10 miles completed in the last day, with the estimation of 250 miles of new barricades being completed by September 30th, 2026. As reported, around 30 miles have been built. This was a much newer report, assuming that there are now 30 miles that have been built. On paper, this seems very disappointing. After all, the target is 2,000 miles by 2029, which we're only and we're only finished with 1.5 of that goal when we finish the first year of Trump administration. And most people would say stop, and they would have a complete failure by Trump, that he broke his promises, but it's complicated than that. Firstly, Trump on day one declared national emergency at the southern border, where he invoked military actions such as the what was that? Where is it? First of all, Trump declared emergency actions at the southern border, where he invoked military actions such as 10 UCS 12 or whatever for reverse mobilization of the construction ownership, blah blah. And let's see, military department. My God, it's getting confusing. Basically, in a nutshell, he just got this border really good, like really well secured. I'm seeing, and I'll read the next one. Within days of this, Department of War sent 1,500 active member services into assistance to the southern border. Now, obviously, with this is the same physical wall by sending the military to the border. Day one especially creates a barrier in its own right, since it would be easier to protocol any people trying to accuse to cross the border. Okay. This is where is it? Border. Yeah. Day one especially creates a barrier in its own right, since it would be protocol for any people trying to cross the border, and people need to understand that you cannot just magically day one activate a border wall out of nowhere, especially not after the damage Biden caused this administration. Absolutely, Biden tried to destroy that wall and reverse all of Trump's policies. So it takes time to plan out, get contracts signed out, deals with the lotteries of all of them, much more. They didn't immediately have the surge in funding they got from the Big Beautiful Bill since the was passed in the middle of 2025. So they haven't built the entire wall as of now. It's crazy to assume that they would have considered all of this, and nor how they would have funding to do with it, and are clearly marching towards the construction of 100 miles each year of this administration. Verdict hasn't been fully completed, but it takes certain steps towards clearing the wall. Yeah. Let's try this. You see, this thing can still drive even if I can just go in here. Open. And then now we can just watch as we're driving. Isn't this crazy though, how far Minecraft's become? We can just watch it while we drive. We're gonna do that for a bit. Let's read the rest. This is extremely straightforward, as the answer is set to yes. This has clearly happened. Not only ICE and CBS having powers to do their jobs from the one of Trump's many actions taken by day one, the same action also promoted other departments sharing any information they have in order to help appropriate action of illegal immigrants. And also doesn't stop there. The Guardian reported that massive swaths of FBI have been reorganized to help ICE operations return report ATF, DEA, and others distributed to help the crackdown, and DJ's issue itself a directive that gave DOJ law enforcement officials authority to investigate and affirm illegal aliens. Verdict. Clearly this has been promises in much more similar ways than expected. Yeah, man, I gotta keep that down more often. Forgot to read the titles. Use advanced technology to monitor and secure the border. Another very clear one, administration has been investing heavily in the use of more advanced technology to help secure the border. Now, just like the wall itself, it's impossible for all that to be covered overnight, but CBS awarded several contracts to Smart Wall and many more miles of new detection technology. Verdict. Quickly adopting and well on its way to fully complete his promise. Yes. Move towards overseas troops to the southern border. This isn't as straightforward as well we mentioned earlier. We did send the military to the border. It appears most of these troops were part of U.S.-based active duty units. Now Trump has withdrawn some troops from places like Romania and Iran, whatever. But we don't know if any of these troops directly to the southern border. Verdict. Did deploy the military to the southern border, but not clear evidence that these troops came from overseas. Yeah, definitely. Will be true. We are traveling now. Let's move here. Okay, got that one. Okay, deploy the U.S. Navy for a full fentanyl blockade. Well, it turns out the recent actions taken by the Caribbean was actually campaign promises in 2024. Verdict. Questions without questions is doing this. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Strengthen ICE and increase penalties for illegals entries and overstaying visas. A clear slam dunk of the Trump and on both of these formats, ICE has become a highest funding U.S. enforcement agency because of the Big Beautiful Bill, and DHS announced they will be enforcing significant fines for illegal aliens, and the Trump admin sued a woman who failed to self-deport for $1 million. Verdict. Another slam dunk. Heck yes. Huge thing right there. Man, this is getting short. I'm going to pause the game more often. Alrighty. Reinstate remain Mexico policy. Yes. Trump, day one, resume to remain Mexico policy. Verdict. Yes. Yeah. Alien Enemies Act. Remove gang members, drug dealers, or cartel members. Another very easy yes. Trump invoked the Enemies Aliens Act. Verdict. Yes. Bring back travel bans. Not only did he bring back travel bans, he even expanded to impact many more countries, and the State Department announced a list of countries to grill. Verdict. Yes, and even more expensive. I got a lot to do. Okay, where are we heading? I'm gonna go fly it again. Let's turn around a bit. Cannot turn around a bit. I'm gonna go this way. I don't even know where I'm heading to. I forgot to say this is a custom. Well, it's not custom. This is a mod pack that changes the terrain, kind of. I want to see this one. That's a good one. Anyway, let's read. Use Title 42 to return trafficked children to home countries. While there were discussions early in 2025 to reveal the Title 42 policy, the Trump administration as of now hasn't revised it, but instead DHS November 2025 launched a new initiative with state and local law enforcement to protect vulnerable children by an admin, loss, or place universal sponsors, invented sponsors based on recent events. Press released 100,000, 32,000 children have been located. Verdict. Title 42 hasn't been revised, but DHS launched a new alternatives to activate similar goals. Yes. Strict extreme vetting, Christian halting communities, Marxist, socialists, Genevers, and civilizers, whatever. Trump day one signed executive order 14161, which directed agencies to restore and expand veteran. SCCIS announced they will consider anti-American in their vetting process. Verdict. Expanding veteran and promoted. Okay, that's a good one. We keep going. I need a drink. Cut federal funding to sanctuary cities, journalists, and require local corporation advice. This is one of the most difficult accomplishments of Congress, as there is so much you can realistically do. Now, the admin currently threatened to withhold funding. In fact, some areas have actually withheld some money, indeed, for sanctuary states, cities, but the biggest problem is the courts have, even back in 2008, were playing games when ruled Trump himself couldn't withhold much money from these states. Now, the Trump administration has taken massive strides in incorporation with new law enforcement. As day one, Trump signed an executive order to direct sanctuary homeland security to get state, local law enforcement agencies across the United States on board with the 287 program. As of now, I signed 138 agreements covering 40 states, and an historic experiment increases. Verdict. Sanctuary cities have been defunded, but local law enforcement has been working more closely with ICE. Yeah, it's a big one that we need to work on. He's trying though. Let's keep going. I don't even know where I am now. I'm just lost. Let's go down here. On day one, Trump saw, I don't know. Legal immigration under Trump has been more controversial part within the MAGA movement, where many think he's actually increased the amount of immigration to the United States, especially the biggest issue people have reservation on this. One moment, someone claims that he wants to cut back on mass migration. Next, someone says we need more cheap labor for certain jobs. But people need to ignore the noise of the administration and look directly at what the administration has actually done, because words aren't the same as action. While it would be incorrect as Trump to say he has stopped all illegal immigration, it's also incorrect to say Trump has taken no steps to stop insanity with current legal immigration progress. On day one, Trump signed 2 executive orders that had significant impact on the immigration system. One order in the regulation of all programs to ensure power immigration of lawful immigrants into the United States, with additional measures to be implemented to promote an united America identity. Another dealt with the U.S. Refugee Action Program, as Trump halted the program completely and had refugees administration capped at 7,500. Why is there no clouds in the sky when I have the shader on? Nice. You know what? New shader. Let's try don't like it. Don't have any other shader. Anyway, alrighty. But the biggest step taken directly from Trump was the appropriation that posed a 100,000 payment requirement for new HB1B positions. Directly of this Yeah. Directly, the Secretary of Homeland Security resurrection of the platforms about this payment for H-1B workers outside the United States, and finally directed DHS and DOL to invade rulemaking to raise parental wage levels and provide higher skill for workers in the H-1B. Yeah, this is one of his biggest accomplishments by far. It went from $1,000 to hire H-1B to now $100,000. Huge step forward. Now, these are good stats, but it wouldn't be enough if that's all Trump has done. But in reality, the part no one accounted for is the drastic changes ongoing at USCIS. The changes happening as we speak could be most substantial immigration policy in the last 50 years. There are dozens of significant things USCIS has done in the Trump's 5th year, but it makes sense since the section will only point to only one of the dates. I guess DHS announced a complete overhaul of the progress of awarding H-1B visas with a focus protecting American workers. The old system was purely random system where employer could flood the system with a ton of low ages to game the system. Basically a bunch of cheap labor from other countries, especially India. Whoa, what is this place? That's kind of cool. Are we heading the right direction? No, we are not. I have to interrupt this. I have to go back. I mean, obviously you cannot turn a thing this fast. In real life, if you try to turn a Zeppelin this fast, it would actually damage itself. You have to turn it super slowly. That was kind of one thing of the Hindenburg that caused it to explosion. Okay. We're there. But under the new system, it's significantly slanted towards higher skilled jobs over the entry-level jobs. Actually verify inaccuracy of information of the job and other things that should have already been a part of the system. It doesn't mean all is perfect, since we should be wanting more and more pushback immigration, but even doing what some people consider at the bare minimum, illegal immigration is estimated to be at the end of Trump's term fall by 30 to 50%. And they can get even better, since it's reported by some that sometimes in the next few months the Trump administration plans on restricting, completely ending the OPT program. Verdict: Trump's administration has been fully ended chain of migration or illegal immigration as a whole, but they're taking significant steps towards drastically reducing the fraud in the system and causing legal immigration to go down directly. Anyway, reverse open border policies and carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Now for yet another controversial part of Trump's second term, and others most people cite as massive disappointment for them, and the disaster of mass deportations. Now, before we discuss deportations, we have to be 100% clear that Trump has completely stopped the flow of illegal immigration. According to Pew Research, migrant encounters at the U.S. southern border have fallen to the lowest since the 1970s and have fell by a short margin in just a single year. So already half the problem is sorted out with the flow of illegal immigration all but gone, but we still have the problem of millions of illegals still here in the United States. And Trump campaign on beginning the largest deportation operation in history of the United States and get all of these people out of here. Many people feel like Trump hasn't deported enough people, which still he hasn't. And has been 10 million of people still in the United States, and we only have 4 years with Trump to try to pass the real dent that number. The administration has claimed that deported, not including self-deportations, 600,000 75,000 illegal immigrants, but based on estimates, it's probably not that number removals from the country, since it appears to become more removals are not just interior removals. The New York Times claims that it could be as low as 230,000 the first year, which would still be far higher than all the last decade using their own numbers. It could tend to be as high as 340,000 from estimated by Migration Policy Institute, which could also be a big increase from Biden. Alrighty. So there's a big range on how many illegal aliens have been removed from the country, but it's universally agreed that amount of deportation happening right now is a massive surge compared to Biden. It's been estimated the interior deportations by ICE have increased by 4.5 times this last year compared to Biden's last year in office. So based on these events, we're seeing a clear surge in deportations, even if it's not the scale that we wanted or need. And on the final cherry on top, the surge for the funding for these operations from the One Big Beautiful Bill didn't even pass until July of 2025, so we're only going to start seeing impacts of more resources gained agents for these operations. Verdict: has been completely stopped the flow of illegal immigrants to the United States, and while this desperately needing more deportations, clearly extended the priority, higher administration total and only going to go up. Okay, now we got more. Alright, maybe look. Are we headed back in the right direction? Yes, we are. Finally. Okay, make Trump's tax cuts permanent. Do I even have to say anything? Yes. Eliminate tax on tips. Big refill? Yes. Support baseline tariffs on foreign-made goods. Trump has not only set a border of tariffs on most of our country, he has far exceeded expansions of what anyone thought was going to happen. Yes. Verdict, yes. And very well observations. Okay, let me look. Revoke China's most favored nation policy. As of now, Congress hasn't taken any real action to revoke the status, but Trump's tariff policies on China have been essentially represented as the same effects taken in action. Verdict. Technically no, but achieved the same effect through his tariff policies. Phase out imports of essential goods from China. It's way too early to fairly judge this, but imports from China have crashed by around 25%. Verdict. Way too early, but as it now appears to be a smashing success. Stop China from buying U.S. real estate and industries. President Trump has signed a momentum that directed the CFIUS to heavily restrict PRC investments in several sectors, especially near sensitive sites, and the USDA laid out its plan to crack down on foreign ownership of farmland. Verdict. Yes. Stop China from buying American real estate industries. To crack down on foreign ownership of farmlands, President Trump created a momentum directed at this. Wait, no, I already read that. While no prevent importation of Chinese vehicles. While no bans have been promoted, Trump slapped a original 25% tariff on automobile imports. Verdict. No. Significant action expect for this to increase of tariffs. Terminate the social Green New Deal. Many actions have been taken by the administration to repeal and pull back much of the Green New Deal agenda. Trump signed an extremely broad executive order that all but destroyed all of Biden's Green New Deal agenda with day one taking office. The United States has pulled out of several international environmental agreements. Yes. It's also clear Trump has done very great lengths to gut the Green New Deal. It's a scam, basically. It doesn't really do anything green, it's just a scam. If it was green, they'll be focused on nuclear energy, which now they're starting to realize could be good, but it's too late. Trump's president. Should have realized that when Biden was president, but now it is. I need another drink. Are we back here yet? We're getting close. Okay. Bringing critical supply chains back to the U.S. Another proposal that won't really be needed to no effect for the next couple of years, but the administration did create a Project Vow in an attempt to counter China for critical materials. We also have TSMC announcing major investment in the United States, superconductor manufacturing. Verdict. Another too early to tell promise, but groundwork does exist. Unleash American energy production from all sources: oil, natural gas, and coal. Another substantial win from the Trump part is that day one he took significant action on energy production. The executive orders included an order that directed agencies to eliminate burdensome regulations and promote all sources of energy, declare national energy emergency to exploit leasing and sit-in production. Transformation, referring to creation of energy, and final unleash Alaska's resource potential that includes oil gas development. And he took further action in May 2025. We directed MRC to recognize and expand leasing for new nuclear reactors, and this does include all the other further actions taken by Department of Interior, Department of Energy, and so much more. Verdict. Has made significant progress on unleash American energy production of all fronts. Okay, I think we should stop driving this now. Let's park it. I need to park this thing. I don't like drive it near. There we go, parked. Let's go drive the other Zeppelin now. I would drive the Trump one, but it's not done yet at all. Oh yeah, by the way, if you got this far, be sure to check out the guy who wrote this article, Real American, and check his channel out. I do daily web displays on it. If you guys are watching this, I hope it doesn't crash the game. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Let's see. Are we moving? Oh yeah, we are moving. Anyway, now with us driving this Zeppelin, see it's so big, it can fit my camera screen. Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. Let me go back to this. I don't even know where we were. Oh yeah. Okay. Strengthened by American higher American policies. As of now, Trump administration hasn't really invoked any specific policies or administration on this front, except for order on day one that reinforced an order signed by 2017. An argument that could be that the current trade policy is helping with this agenda, particularly, but that's not really exactly a policy. President Verdict. Has taken very little, if any, direction, but currently trade policies could potentially have the same effect. And Democrats' crypto crackdown oppose central bank the currency defend Bitcoin mining and illegal digital assets. Yes and yes. Verdict, yes. Okay, I don't really know too much about that stuff, but keep going down. Reappeal Biden's AI executive order, support AI development. Oh, we're going over the top. I just realized this is what they are. Okay, reappeal Biden's executive AI orders, support AI development, rigid and free speech, and human fragility. Yes and yes. Verdict, yes. Okay. Cut costs, pursuing regulations, reinstate Trump and Trump era direction. Whatever. Do I even need to say anything about this? Trump's one of the big success. Yes, 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 and yes. One of his biggest success. I don't really know what some of this means, if I'm missing anything. But it looks like it's big success, though. I'm not the best on that kind of stuff. Expand space industry, manufacturing, and near-Earth orbit. Return to the moon, onward, Mars, commercial partnerships. And another thing we haven't waited to see the most of it, but Trump has taken more than enough action to help expand space industry, whether it's streamlining and regulations to the license process or examples called to get to the moon by 2028. Verdict. Wait and see, but he's taking plenty of actions to expand the space industry. Open limit federal lands for new home construction. No currently construction is underway on federal lands for new homes, but the HUD and DOI announced a joint task force March of 2025 to identify individual lands for residential development. Verdict. No movement except for joint force to the land of use. They tried at one point, but the bill failed to get it passed because some lands are protected and stuff. Promote home ownership tax and support first-time buyers. As of now, no home ownership tax have been created, but the one big beautiful did extend the Trump's tax cuts to include some relief for homeowners. Trump also signed an executive order looking to redistrict large institution investors from purchasing single-family homes. Verdict. No major development was created. Movement to create new tax administration. Whatever. But where are we? Make sure we're not flying too far. We're not. Wait, did we stop flying? We did. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. I can fly too. Create definition more affordable alternatives to traditional 4-year college degrees. Trump has quietly signed an executive order to direct several government agencies to revert all federal workforce programs and submit fundings and recommendations to modernize it. Also set a goal of reaching and surpassing 1 million new active apprentices annually with focus on new and informative industries. The development of labor produced a detailed document in response to the executive order with a complete what? Hey. Oh, I can't drive. The other Zeppelin's blocking me. I'm going to say verdict. Significant progress has been made to create real estate alternatives for 4-year college degrees. Increase healthcare transparency, choice, and information, expand access to new affordable options. Trump has signed several executive orders to attempt to do this. Just an order signed in February 2025 describes 7 agencies, including HHS, to enforce update transit policy rules with required disclosure actual prices, and third order signed May 2025. Fitness is direct-to-consumer programs for more favorable nation progression drug pricing. And in early 2026, the White House released a framework called on Congress to codify MSN deals, expand OTS drug restrictions to consumers for choice, and several major changes to build upon current executive orders. But on top of this, Trump just launched Trump RX to help reduce pricing costs drug even further. That's a big success to Trump RX. Go check it out. Verdict. Several more orders have been signed to do exactly this, with Trump RX being major creation. A similar framework to overhaul current aspects of the system have been promoted by Congress. Okay. Let's keep going. Restore stability to ensure long-term sustainability of Social Security. No significant legislation has been passed by Congress on this front, except for a big beautiful bill that created no tax on Social Security. In general, the major changes had just came from more efficiency administration reforms. Verdict. Not a single piece of legislation passed, but this administration reforms have improved Social Security. Strengthen Medicare. No actions have been taken on Medicare outside of previously mentioned reductions on prescription drug prices. Yes. Verdict. Nothing groundbreaking has been done. Okay. Increased focus on chronic disease prevention, long-term care benefits, flexibility, and primary care. Trump has established the Make America Healthy Again Commission that has Chair RFK Jr. The commission released a statement report with over 100 recommendations. Verdict, yes. Shift resources at home senior care. Nothing noteworthy has occurred from this front. Verdict, no. Overturn decision causing care worker shortages. HHS has removed several regulations related to minimal staffing standards. Verdict, yes. Some of this healthcare stuff I don't even know of. Let's go down a little bit like this. Oh no, not oceans. I hate them. Let's try from first person. Whoa, this is so cool. It's like a more like modern one. Anyway, let's keep going. Support unpaid family combination visa tax credits for reduced red tape. No tax credits have been created by no major progress. No has been realized. Verdict, no. And teacher terminal and measure pay. No. Verdict, no. Allow vigorous policy supported educational models. Trump has directed Department of Education to support private chain or faith-based schools options. Verdict, yes. Okay. Universal school choice in every state. Expand to 529 accounts. Support homeschooling equality. A smashing success that was made possible due to one big beautiful bill expanding the scope to 529 accounts. Verdict, yes. In youth project-based learning, work experience, and career training programs. The Department of Labor has released an outline for workforce development that includes these programs. Verdict. The Department of Labor is taking a serious look at the emissions of these programs. Okay, what game? This is interesting. Ooh, where are we flying into? Whoa, I think I'm gonna have to fly higher. I think we'll be good though. Whoa, I didn't even know this force existed. Anyway, let's continue. Restore, enforce parental rights in education, including stop race-based discrimination. Yes, Trump has signed an order to protect parental rights under the FERPA, PPAI. Eliminated federal funding for programs, insane ideologies, and in addition to separate order was signed to end the federal support of DEI and similar programs. Verdict, yes. Defund school engagement political declaration. Has taken steps to withhold funding for the declaration, whatever. Verdict, yes. Reinstate the 1776 commission and promote patriotic civilization education. Yes. Verdict, yes. Great. Good. That's really good. Corporation, the right to pray and read the Bible in school. The Department of Education announced new guidelines on prayer and religious liberation in public schools. Verdict, yes. That's good. Where are we flying into? To go take a look. Okay, we're here. Let me look. Where are we flying? I'm gonna turn. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're too hot. We need to lower. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm gonna go this way. It's so weird to be flying this way. And I can just get off. It'll fly by itself. This is how far Minecraft has become. Isn't this crazy? And we're inside of a Zeppelin right now. This is insane. I'm gonna do it from here. But you can't see me flying though. Let's just do this. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Close the Federal Department of Education. Return control to the states. Despite some actions taken to try to end the Department of Education, Department of Education is still not closed. This is because Congress has abolished it, and the president cannot universally do it. However, the Department of Education has taken specific steps to significantly shrink itself, such as announcing a new industry agreement with 4 agencies to break up the bureaucracy and announce mass firings in March of 2025. Now it's still an ongoing circus with courts eventually interfering and pausing any layoffs, but a good chunk of firings have been struck. Verdict: the Department of Education still exists, but administration is actively shrinking the size of it as much as possible. Regulation policy, interpretation, and restore common sense policy. On day 1 of Trump's orders, he signed revoking the Biden-era executive order that included order that harmed the ability of police to do their job. Another order was assigned to direct agencies to empower aggressive policies, placing in place with best practices for state and local forces to follow. Verdict: the administration has taken specific steps and supports police departments. Yes, that's a good one. Protect officers from feminist lawsuits. The Attorney General has directed to establish legal defense mechanisms for these officers. Verdict: yes. Okay, here we go. Stand up to Marxist prosecutors. The DOJ has fired dozens of prosecutors in the first week of Trump returning to office, but as now no local DAs has been forced out due to Trump's limited authority. Verdict: some progress at the DOJ, but not much movement on this local level. Compulsory blah blah addresses homelessness to restore street order. Trump has signed an executive order that directed home ministries to end support for housing first and priority civil commitments for those with several mental illnesses and some youth who cannot care for themselves. It also promoted encampment removals, enforced bans on urban camps, and reduced grants towards treatment and public safety. HUD also announced significant reforms to home and homelessness program, which shifted the emphasis to traditional supportive services. Verdict: the administration has quietly been changing and prioritizing the deal with homelessness. I didn't even know that till now. That's interesting. Okay, we're getting there. Let's keep going. Oh shoot, we are approaching some mountains and we fly. Oh wait, no, I can't fly it. Fly higher. Whoa, this is a nice part. Must be a whole new part we're flying to. It is. It's beautiful. This is some areas I've never seen before. This is beautiful. We keep flying. This is insane. Let me go to the first person. Oh, that's beautiful. I love mountains in Minecraft. One of my favorite things. Anyways, get back to this. Washington, D.C. for law and order maintenance. Yes, it's been one of Trump's biggest success. Verdict: absolutely. And luxury housing, taxpayer benefits for legal immigrants, redirect savings to homelessness veterans. Yes and yes. Verdict: absolutely. Okay. Promote culture, values, security, marriage, childhood, and family role, supporting working parties. Yes. Verdict: yes. By radical left educators in higher education. The Trump has directed the Department of Education to increase accountability for educators and it's also lifted moderation on new educators. The Department of Education announced a new commission to propose new and reverse regulations to reform higher education system. Verdict: significant progress has been made to reform accreditation progress, but no official firings as of now. Let's do this. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's beautiful. Yes, I like that. Okay. Pursue civil rights cases against immigration schools. Some investigations have been launched by the Department of Education for Title X violations, and the DOJ has reached some agreements with some universities. Verdict: slow but meaningful progress has been seen. Promote beauty and public education, agriculture, and junior conversation. Trump took significant action through a memorandum and an executive order to promote beautiful and public agriculture, meaning traditional agriculture. Agriculture, whatever. Trump also signed the order to increase fees for non-citizens to national parks and increase revenue to improve infrastructure at the parks. Verdict: yes and yes. Okay, keep going. Oh, this is beautiful. I can't wait to make the web display here. Where are we going? Are we still traveling? Yes, we are. Minecraft's beautiful. Revoke visas for foreign nationals supporting terrorism, whatever that is. Yes, administration has revoked thousands of student visas in the last year, and another point of correlation because of the rightly worried freedom of speech being under threat by these actions. Now, unlikely with some of these may claim the vast majority of these visas have been revoked and nothing to do with protests or pro-Palestine areas. It's rather more been of those command to cry a crime overstayed of only 230 of 6,000 as the last areas were actually revoked due to administration's terrorist-related activities. The information from the State Department about these regulations have been extremely limited, but a sizable chunk because assault on other violent actions. Verdict: yes, but some concerns over freedom of speech still exist. Yes. Hold accountable preparations of violence against Jewish people. Yes. Another controversial part due to what seemed to be claimed as an anti-Christian bias. While the administration has been more vocal about going after anti-Semitism, they haven't been completely ignored anti-Christian activities and in fact taking some action in this front. They also charged several lunatics that stormed Minneapolis church during the middle of a service. Verdict: yes, but some actions taken also target anti-Christian biases. Hold accountable for those misusing government power for political purposes. And now we are definitely in the parts that you may have asked Trump supporters. The biggest frustration would be these next few topics. Some very slow-minded progress has been made, but due to how slow the legal process can be, also part of some major hiccups from the DOJ and baffling decisions by judges, Trump signed Executive Order Day 1 to end weaponizing the federal government, and DOJ later establishing the weaponizing a working group. Verdict: some administration actions have been taken directly to the DOJ to hold people accountable, but as of now, no one has truly been held accountable. Yeah, that one just kind of hurts, but it has been time. Things take time. We have these stinging judges striking everything down. Need a drink. Rein in wasteful prosecution spending. Congress controls the purse strings. Therefore, it's extremely difficult for the president to force through significant spending cuts. Now, we shouldn't blindly ignore the fact that Trump really hasn't been the most focused on this front, since he actually could rein in wasteful spending by applying more pressure to Congress if he really wanted to. However, reality is Trump doesn't really have a big enough majority to accommodate significant recording breaking cuts. A Republican majority has plenty of characters that still, let's face it, don't really want the cuts to happen, despite rhetoric that this is part of the reason why Musk got extremely frustrated in the middle of 2025, since it was far more difficult than people expected. Trump, despite valuable criticisms, has taken significant steps to rein in the wasteful in the federal government as much as he could possibly do without Congress. Day one, he created the now famous infamous Doge, and despite it receiving less attention, it's still been at work attempting to cancel as much waste as they can. Doge has now been reported about 215 billion saved in the first year. Plus, Trump was able to force through a reconciliation package that gutted U.S. aid and PBS and NPR. Verdict: we need significant more action in this realm of wasteful spending, but we're seeing actual steps in the right direction, at least with the executive branch. Declassify records, root out wronggoers, and fire corrupt employees. And now we finally made it to the part where probably everyone's waiting for. Earlier, I mentioned I wasn't including just the Epstein files because Trump mentioned twice in the interview that he gave statements on it. However, the official platform did include declassification of records, but did not significantly one file or a couple. In this generation, many people don't make it, and it's extremely wrong to ignore all the declassification efforts. This doesn't mean excuse for the Trump administration to completely dropping the ball on Epstein files. And let's face it, this was one of the biggest disasters the administration that caused the current disclosure we see. But the administration has declassified plenty of files outside the Epstein files. Just the Epstein files have been the most important for not to mess up. And well, they did. Yes, the files were released, but people cannot shake off the total disaster and how much it was fighting to prevent these files from releasing. Now, several days after inauguration, Trump signed an executive order declassifying the JFK, RFK, and MAK files. Trump also declassified files related to Crossfire Hurricane, which turned out to be extremely damning files. Now, the administration has finalized their will to give the administration more, fire up to 550,000 federal employees, many of them who were extremely problematic ones, and didn't include the 100,000s that were already purged. Verdict: this should be one of Trump's biggest successes at the administration level, but it could very well be his longest lasting reshaping the federal workforce. But the administration failed miserably on on the most important one, so all of this progress is ignored and cast aside, even though front budget is huge. Let's go to the first person. Yeah, nighttime. It's really different at night, I must say. Ooh, it's dark as heck at night. Let's do it this way, yeah. Declassify report. Wait, I already did it. Restore Trump era veteran healthcare choice route programs, whistleblowers, and hold poor people accountable. Yes, verdict yes. Maintain Supreme Court judges at 9, block expansion. Verdict yes, verdict yes. Support state level votes on the 14th Amendment. Protection, oppose late-term abortion, support parental care, birth control. The abortion debate has all but ended. Trump didn't order in early 2000 to enforce the Hyman Amendment. Verdict yes by technicality. Ban taxpayer funding for sex change surgeries, who will promote transgender progression. Yes and yes. Verdict. Reverse Biden's Title IX rewrite and restore protections women, right, girls. Yes and yes. No voting rights for illegal aliens. Trump has been pushing hard for Congress to pass the SAVE Act and has also signed an order to make it much harder for illegal aliens to vote. Verdict. Has signed an executive order to probably prevent it, but really needs a SAVE Act to pass. Welcome greater political reputation from the U.S. territories. No. Verdict no. Invest in cutting edge research technologies and higher troop pay. Verdict yes and yes. Let me see. Fire woke elements from the military. Yes and yes. Ensure aliens meet defensive of nations. European allies I meant. European allies made a deal to finally meet defense over nations. Verdict yes. Stand with Israel to seek the stability in the Middle East and undo Pacific. Another very controversial one. Trump has clearly stood with Israel, which I don't think I have much to say more now that for my part it's been way too early to judge if Trump actions in the Middle East and Indo-Pacific will be lasting. Some progress has been made, especially in Gaza. Specific questions still remain unanswered. The verdict to be determined. Mobilize military assets against cartel. Oh shoot. There we go. Mobilize military assets against cartel trafficking drugs and people. Yes, with so many explanations it's possible to list them all. Verdict yes. Okay. We keep going. A bit over here. Where are we heading? I just realized. Oh no. Let's go over here. I wish I could see it more. I guess this is good. I just want to see the windows moving. Utilize defense critical infrastructure required made in USA for critical equipment. Yes. Protect critical infrastructure industrial base from the measures of cyber actors. Yes. And yeah, we have went through dozens of official promises Trump made in 2024. Nearly every single one of them have been fortified or a work of progress. Does this mean all is perfect? No, but of course not. We need more deportations. We need more accountability. We need more. And please, love for God, fix messaging. But the question you may be asking is, why does it seem like Trump isn't doing the things even though you've gone through this? Is everything he's done huge swaths of what he promised to do? Well, the most right part of him is to accomplish most of his promises. Really away, actually, at the end of the day, hurt him. Promises right away, actually, at the end of the day, hurt him. Reason being, instead of having constant flow of stuff the base supports, he overwhelmed everyone with so much right away that base was in state of, I don't know what the hell that means. Yes, some of this was done in the last few months, but the majority, okay, we're gonna head back now. Give me a second. Where are we? Okay, yes, this is the way back. I'm pretty sure this is the way back, so we'll just fly back there. No, it's too dark. Let's just do this. Press C. Okay, and yes, some. Oh yeah. Let me look. Yes, some have done. Oh yeah. Yes, some have been done. Let me look. Where were we? Oh yeah, yes, some of this was done in the last few months, but the majority of what was done the right way and people immediately forgot about, especially after the death of Epstein. Now you have the right to believe Trump hasn't done enough, and I would argue being critical of organization stuff is actually a net positive, but please actually do your own research if Trump did or didn't do something, or just blindly attack Trump because he hasn't talked about it. This was a massive undertaking, and I know probably missed some of his promises Trump did make, but this whole point of the first part was to explain that Trump has done way more than people think he's done. Thank you for reading. Stay on the look for future parts. Real American, by the way. Can't wait to read this. I'm gonna read the comments really fast. Oh, I did read it all. I'm gonna keep reading. Yep, that was amazing rap, by the way. Check him out on X. This is him. You gotta make sure you check him out. This is part 1. We went through it. I'm sorry for all the mumbling and words. I'm not the best at reading, you know. I'm really bad at reading, and I'm really bad at pronouncing words, and if I don't know what to say, I mumble a lot and just say it. I get confused easily and stuff, but I did get through it, so I did promise I did go through it. Now I need to head back here. At least I get to show Flying Zeppelins, too. You don't see that often, especially